IGC News, Mima Obibia Akwaba, Ahadie latest and hot news on Enamide Bremo. Enuti se winner subscribe or more than say over subscribe to the channel. You will say over click the subscribe button. Now what barely notification where there's a new video be uploaded or the first person who sabeka video. Afriyie, give us a thumbs up. My thumbs up, Gyamfi. Share my offer for us. No be here since I had the latest and hot news in Kwa and Namide Bremo. Afriyie share a year and someone apeto ye posu. Inti a year sankumoya airposu. Someone apeto the inti.
And there was a very simple question that you said teachers are suffering, nurses are suffering, traders are suffering, everyone is suffering. Are those suffering, those people that you identified are suffering in the past? Is it still the case? Then the man started laughing. Was it the answer to Ghanaians? That was cheeky. So it was a waste of everybody's time. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's media encounter last Sunday, if my memory serves me right, was to further explain his manifesto that was launched a week earlier in Takrady. Indeed, my understanding of what he intended to do was to, as it were, cover all the grey areas. Because after the program, after the launch, Ghanaians did not feel the sense of the bold solutions that he had touted all this while. That he was going to offer the country that bold solution to deal with the 14.74 unemployment, to deal with the 33.3% multidimensional poverty threshold, to deal with the dollar to the cedi, which is now 1:16, to deal with inflation that is at 20.9%, and to tackle corruption and also environmental degradation. So these were the issues that were confronting Dr. Bawumia, for which he was supposed to come with both solutions to comprehensively deal with it. But after that launch, there was hopelessness, there was despair in the air, because he provided or offered none of any solutions that could comprehensively deal with it. So he was advised, and I don't know those that advised whether they did it in good faith or bad faith, that he should quickly come and meet the press. Remember, this is a vice president who has been able to swerve the media for almost 8 years. He hardly meets the media. He only meets the media once a year, and even in these occasions, he prefers to eat and dine with them. Nobody asks any question, so he gets away with a lot of things that he says. So he decided to meet on Sunday. Mind you, the NDC too had launched their manifesto Saturday.
Yes, really.
So it was to achieve two purposes, what Dr. Bawumia did. One was to crowd the manifesto launch of the NDC, was to poo-poo it, and two was to better explain the NPP's manifesto. He went there unprepared and started answering questions. The first question he was asked, he gave excuses. Nobody even knew the answer to the question. A harmless and a simple question. This man started giving us lecture from anthropology to zoology to sports to mechanics to all sort of things. And so right there, some of us realized that we were in for a long night. Then came questions to do with the economy. What he himself had been saying. The popular one being, when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate would expose you. Clearly, he could not offer this country the much needed satisfactory answer to that question, and expose how he has been untruthful to the people of this country. That indeed, yes, we know that the fundamentals of this economy are weak, and it's still weak. So it was for him to admit that I promised you a fundamental shift in the way and manner we do things so that our economy will be strong at all times. But there is no way anybody with the mind fully operating at 100% level will say that you took over an exchange rate regime of 1:4.2, and now it's 1:16, and your 1:16 is better than 1:4.2. Which mathematics will say this is correct? So clearly, what he should have done on that day was to admit that the government has failed, apologize to the people of this country, and at worst, offer himself that he is withdrawing from the race to better go and think about the economy, restructure his life, take a comprehensive detail of his life, activities and politics in this country, and come back again. But this man will not do so. He will still push to be the president of the land. A lot of the questions too, he says he did not have any idea. And mind you, these were journalists sitting there somewhere, and you invited them to come and ask you any questions they had. So if you knew you couldn't answer all the questions, at best you should have assembled all your technocrats. But I'm not sure the journalists went there only to be told that, oh, we don't have answers, come again. And to my greatest disappointment, you were asked what has happened to the 8 people that died in Techiman, or they were Joe Techiman, yes, during the last elections. And you say you don't know what has happened. Mind you, he is the chairman of the police council. And the police is supposed to be dealing with that matter. So as a chairman of the police council, if you're unable to know the very institution that you chair, their activities, then what are we doing? You don't know what is happening to the economy, that you are supposed to be the head of the economic management team. You don't know what is happening to the institution that you chair. Then what do you know? And there was a very simple question that you said teachers are suffering, nurses are suffering, traders are suffering, everyone is suffering. Are those suffering, those people that you identified are suffering in the past? Is it still the case? Then the man started laughing. Was it the answer to Ghanaians? That was cheeky. So it was a waste of everybody's time. My attitude to manifestos and its impact. So I remember we started this fourth Republican dispensation in 1992. The first president occupied the seat of presidency in 1993, 7th of January. Now, at all material times, political parties have come out with their manifestos. They have explained their intentions on how to deal with the problems of the country. So if you take the manifestos of these political parties, if you like, start from 1996 till date, take a critical look at all that they have intended to do is the same thing to date. Yet we are still, as a country, struggling. Now if you go to most parts of Accra, the taps are not flowing. We are being told that we risk facing food crisis. Our environment is destroyed beyond repairs. Corruption is all-time high in this country. So you ask yourself, why is it that the political parties, they have beautiful writings in their books that when we come, we will do A, B, C, D. Yet the very things that they promise that when given the opportunity they will deal with, it still persists. It means that manifestos are mere promises. And unless and until we get someone who is able to implement whatever has been carried out or put in these manifestos, we are not getting anywhere. You take a critical look at the NPP's manifesto, and they are saying it's bold solutions to our problems. Is that not the case? And I can say that about 99% of what is contained in this manifesto is contained in the 2020 manifesto. So why is it that they could not implement all the things, or the 99% of the things conveyed in 2020 manifesto to better our lives? In 2020, the NPP promised that they would reduce interest rate, or the policy rate. They would reduce inflation. They would improve the living conditions of public servants, and also create an enabling environment for the private sector to thrive. At the time they were promising, in 2020, the policy rate was 25%. When they were given another opportunity, It is now 29%. So what went wrong? What prevented them from implementing the policies contained in the manifesto of 2022 to achieve a low policy rate? We were told that inflation will come to a single digit. It's double digit now. What went wrong with the manifesto of 2020 that they could not implement for it to come down, for us to have that reasonable inflation rate? Unemployment, if you go into the manifesto of 2020, NPP's manifesto of 2020, we were told that government's policy of NAPO, government's policy, NEIP, where the youth are given grants and so on, will reduce unemployment drastically. It turned out that was the opposite. Unemployment is going up every day. That for the first time, we have over 1.9 million of our youth idle, unemployed, having nothing to do, who are now turned into betting professors. Now, having turned these guys into betting professors, guess what they intend to do? They say they are removing betting tax. So what is it? You want to promote betting amongst the youth. Meanwhile, this current manifesto is telling us that when it is implemented and implemented well, the youth have jobs to do. So if you believe in the manifesto that it is going to remove youth unemployment or deal drastically with youth unemployment, why then do you aid or promote betting through the removal of betting tax? Now, we are told, if you take a critical look at our budgets, 2 line items, each all our money: interest payment and then emolument. The public sector, as we speak, employs about 760,000 Ghanaians. That alone is eating all our money. Now, in the NPP's manifesto, they are saying one of the ways they intend to use to improve employment situation is to increase employment in the public sector, i.e. the security services. Now, if you increase employment in the public sector, what it means is that you are increasing the public expenditure. Even at 760,000, the country is struggling. So how much more you increasing it? Clearly, it's not something that they intend to achieve. Now we have also been told that the priority of the country is to build or train close to 1 million people who can code. I have never seen anywhere in this world where coding solves food problem. We are heading into a food crisis. Price the coding and let food come. So you do all this and you juxtapose it with what Annan is professing to see. And that is why I have been telling the people of this country that beyond your rhetorics, beyond your emotions, it is time for you to compare all the manifestos. Annan started telling you about the new agricultural revolution. I'm sure you remember the number of times I have bothered your ears with the new agricultural revolution. That was since last year. We had not been told that there will be drought in this country. But Annan foresaw it and said one of the ways of dealing comprehensively with the problems in this country, when man or woman is not hungry, about 80% of the problem is gone. So let's change the way we deal with our agricultural sector. He said, we have trained a lot of agronomists in this country. They are all in the classrooms. They don't have major farms to implement their expertise. Our fathers, our mothers, the old elderly men and women are still using the orthodox ways of farming. Cutlasses, hoes, and they are still doing the 1 acre type of farming. That does not pay. We need to modernize agriculture. We need to put more agronomists onto the field. We need to give them the equipment, the machines, the combine harvesters, the backhoes, the loaders, and so on. We need to feed them with fertilizers for them to modernize agriculture. Irrigation must be a paramount feature in our modern agriculture. Is it not sad that in the 21st century, the Minister of Food and Agriculture looks straight into our faces and tells you and I, when we have learned in all the textbooks from primary to JHS to secondary school to university to polytechnic to every nook and cranny of this world, that irrigation is the order of the day. He looked straight into our faces and told us that there looms a food crisis because rains did not fall this year in 8 regions. When, as a country, as far back as 1977, we had established the Irrigation Development Authority. Yeah, that Irrigation Development Authority wasn't established to be looking at football matches or watching hockey pitches or what. Their mandate is to develop irrigation in this country, so that when rains do not fall, we have the scientific ways. If the argument of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture is anything to go by, then it means the people of UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, and so on and so forth, must be hungry all year, because at most or at best they experience rainfalls 5 times a year. That's the worst case scenario. But they have food all year round. So how are they able to do it? It means the personalities involved in managing the affairs of this country, very paramount. We have moved beyond the rhetorics of managing an economy. If you went out there, and I wish Pan-Africa would do this, as Kwame is here, he's in the media space, go around and find out how the Ghanaians sees politicians. It's almost at zero. They do not trust the politician, because they have seen politicians as people that only comes around to promise just to take their power and then go and use it to benefit themselves and their families. So what the people on the highway are saying is that you say when you come, our lives will be okay. No, it's not true. Yes, your life will be better, but not my life. So there has to be a policy shift in that direction. Then again, we are talking about apprenticeship. Here, I think the NDC also said, but the NDC can also not take itself out of it. You see the betting thing, they are also, I don't know where they got it from. They said they are going to take it out for the boys to go and bet. These 2 political parties, they go to church Sundays, mosque Fridays, SDA people Saturdays. They come back and say, go and gamble. Alan is saying that after secondary school, there will be a mandatory apprenticeship for secondary school graduates. You by force go and learn either carpentry, masonry, plumbing, hairdressing, tailoring, and so on and so forth. So that before you enter any tertiary institution, you have a skill to work with. Now, beyond that, the manifesto of the NPP, the Alhaji Bawumia's manifesto, you know, there were 319 committee members. You remember that? And you know, they met 87 times. They only changed Alan's Traders Bank to SME Bank. Can you imagine? Alan says he's going to establish Traders Bank. NPP comes and says SME. What's the difference between traders and SME? It is these traders that some are S, some are M, some are E. We have small traders, we have medium traders, and we have large traders. That's the SME. So clearly, it lacks the originality. We risk facing what is happening in Kenya if we do not look at the competence, the credibility, the characters of the candidates that are leading. Here we are talking about Alan Kyeremanteng, Mahmoud Bawumia, and John Mahama. At least 2 of them have occupied the presidency before. One is still occupying, who is promising that you wait on, hold on. When I get the opportunity in 2025, I will deal with your issues. After all, he has told us boldly that if I solve all the problems today, what will be there for me to solve tomorrow? And so for him, it would be unthinkable for him to solve all the problems today so that he will be idle tomorrow. I thought he was defeating his own team of it is possible. Well, it has to be possible for you to solve all the problems today. But on that occasion, he himself said it is not possible for him to deal with all the issues. So I believe that the Ghanaian will be better served, better off going the independent way. And I want to thank Sammy Nkrumah for stating the position clearly that she is going to contest as an independent parliamentary candidate in Jomoro. This will be the second time. And in doing so, she was so emphatic in her delivery that the over-partisanship nature of this country is not taking us anywhere. And that we need a candidate that will bring all together to serve the interests of Ghana. Just recently, we all eulogized Kwame Nkrumah. Is that not the case? We praise Kwame Nkrumah for all the wonderful things he has done. Kwame Nkrumah is speaking to the daughter directly that this time around, go for an independent candidate. If you claim you love Kwame Nkrumah and you don't want to listen to the daughter, then you are a hypocrite. Kwame Nkrumah is speaking to the daughter. Sammy Nkrumah is conveying the message from the father that Ghanaians do not vote for these two political parties. Look straight on the ballot and vote for Alan Kyeremanteng. This one to what? What Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia did was at best a comic relief that we all have to ignore. And there is something going on that I feel insulted about it. Atta Kyea has to be very careful with the way he goes about certain pronouncements. You see, he may think he was targeting a certain candidate, but I find it very offensive. I take Klobie. It's the nation's favorite. For you to have gone on a platform to say that Klobie is an alcoholic beverage, that all those that drink, we don't have a mind of our own. Atta Kyea, you sat at the Works and Housing Ministry and you did nothing, though you don't drink. You don't drink, but you did nothing and you were sacked. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, 23.3% of Ghanaians take alcohol. And here I want to admonish anyone that takes alcohol, the 23.3% of you, that Atta Kyea is saying that you don't have a mind of your own, you are not sensible, you are senseless. And by extension, if you are not sensible and senseless, it means you can also not vote for the NPP. I entreat all of you to vote for Alan. Alan came for you. If he believes that, and the president also did that, you know, about a year or so ago in Parliament, that he said, those that know me knows I don't drink alcohol. And you are the president. If you think drinking is bad, why have you allowed the Accra Brewers, the Guinness Ghana to be here? Why have you allowed that? So all those people that I take club beer with, you know I am one of your own. I am telling you the mindset of you. Do you drink? He drinks Fanta.
So you're saying we shouldn't vote for him?
Me? We are calling all of them because we believe in them. I am working with, I am drinking, he is not drinking, so I believe.
Please don't up for me. Please don't up for me, sir.
But how can Atta Kyea be so reckless in this manner? That because you what sort of nonsense is that? And the president himself, I don't drink. Anyway, those that drink, you vote for Alan, and let's see whether your lives will not change. Vote and he will give you more drinks.
Yo, it is for waiting and someone about the tour. So we are subscribe to channel here. Bawumia say we subscribe to the channel. No, now feel so or like the video, give us a thumbs up. Now feel share my offer first. No, you be here. It's had here. Latest and hot news. One of the Bremo. I feel so also betting actually working Afriyie and some way now. I will comment boxing over to Minkabi in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.